Hello and welcome to my trailer. I'm pretty stoked. I got the floor in a few days ago and that was huge. Honestly, one of the biggest improvements just for quality of life, because now I've moved all my stuff in. It's so nice having this finished floor in here. So nice. I can't even describe how nice it is. It's a bit cold out, as you can tell by my poofy jacket, and it's also past daylight savings time in November, so that means it's completely dark after work. So I decided to set up a nice cozy workspace in here. So I got my table, my chair, my rug, and best of all, well, we got a lamp in here. How did I get electricity going if that's my battery? Oh, and a space heater. What? Because I just plugged an extension cord into my shore power outlet. So we're doing pretty good. We got electricity going. Very temporary, but this is a huge step. I'm gonna make working on the rest of this very comfortable. All right, quick recap if you have not been following along with my videos. I'm turning this 7x14 cargo trailer into a tiny house on wheels. Just recently, as you can tell by my intro, I got this nice vinyl flooring done and all my insulation. So in this video, I'm starting my 80/20 furniture. Now, if you haven't worked with 80/20 before, I can give you some tips and tricks in this video. First of all, it is actually relatively easy to cut. I've been cutting it with just a miter saw with a general purpose blade, and it goes right through it. But the website that I purchased my 80/20 from, which is T-Nuts, I found that they had a really good price. They cut for free, so I actually ordered all of my pieces cut to the correct length, which just saves me a ton of time. Or I guess I should say it saves me a ton of time in terms of measuring and going back and forth with the saw. It definitely took a lot more design work, but I was also able to order closer to what I ended up needing, although in the end I needed probably 3 or 4 separate shipments because my designs changed and I realized I needed more than I thought I did at first. So now that my 80/20 is all organized by length and I've assembled my T-nuts onto my L brackets, corner brackets, it's time to start putting the furniture together. So this first piece is going to be my garage shelf unit. And I should note that you might be seeing some electronic equipment scattered around my trailer in this video. I have been assembling that in parallel with the furniture and everything. But I will be doing a separate video on that coming out in the future, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. So now this is the skeleton of the kitchen galley unit. Now, one thing I'd like to point out here is the hatches in my floor where the water tank box is, so you can see my plumbing. And I strategically placed those underneath the kitchen galley unit, and also you can see the water fill inlet on the wall that will lead directly into my clean tank. And I just was using insulation as a temporary tabletop on my garage and kitchen units here while I was working on my electricity. All right, here is my kitchen frame made out of 80/20, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm attaching it to my walls. So it's gotta be securely anchored down so it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm adding these corner brackets, just these guys. And I'm screwing them into my steel beams, the structure of the trailer, just like that. And what I'm using to do that is plus nuts. They're basically just riv nuts, but they don't spin as much when you try to tighten them. So I've got that one in. I did one down here. You can see I actually put that one straight in the 80/20 there. But this 80/20 set back, you can see the gap there. So I'm not gonna do it up there. I did just the steel there. And then I did this side already too. So it's already pretty structurally sound. It's not really going anywhere like that, but I think I'm gonna do a few more. So I already slid nuts in here when I was assembling it because I was smart and I used forethought. If you don't do that, you can use these nuts that have a spring-loaded ball in them, and you can actually stick them in. It's a little more expensive, so I tried to have forethought is wherever I can and put the nuts in advance. So I have my nut there. Then I take my bracket and my screw, and I put it in. Like so. And then I just position it like that. For some reason, this isn't close. There's like ½ inch of gap there. I think it's because these steel beams are just bowed outwards, but we're gonna make it work. I might just add some washers behind it. So get that nice and tight. And then you're going to drill a hole for the plus nut. I found after doing 2 of these that the easiest way is to just use this as a guide for my pilot hole. So step 1, pilot hole. Okay, pilot hole drilled. Then I'm gonna get this out of the way, and I need a pretty fat drill. It's easy enough to tell what size drill bit you need, and you're using the right one. You just go like that, and you go, oh yeah, they're about the same, and then you're done. Okay, so bigger hole. Being real careful not to send the drill all the way through the trailer. Just go into that first layer there. And then you take the plus nut, you stick it in. And sometimes they don't go in super well. There it goes. Perfect. Nice and easy. Don't have to use any force at all to get that in. Then I get my little plus nut installer tool. This is a plus nut riv nut installer tool. It's just a bolt with a thing that spins on it, like long nut thing. And it's got a teeth on the bottom. And the teeth dig into this. So this and this don't rotate together. You tighten this, and it does the riv nut stuff where it pulls the threads back and it locks it into place. So to get that snuggled up, get my other tools over here. And that goes on there to hold it still. And then you just... Pro tip, definitely use a drill with a socket bit on the end to do this. Way faster and easier. Wish I learned sooner. Go until it's nice and tight and break it off. I found that just using this with my hand is the easiest way to get this screw off, because it's not exactly loosey-goosey, but it's too loose for the full ratchet. Okay, there it goes. Voila, a beautiful nut installed in my steel beam. It's going to be very strong. This tool particularly. Line this up. Using 1-inch long 1/4-20 bolts here. You're supposed to use bolts that are long enough to go all the way through the plus nut, and they're kind of deep, so. Give that a good yoink. Give that a good yoink. Oh, absolutely rock solid. That ain't going nowhere. And I basically just do that. And I did 5 of these on each of the kitchen and the garage. So 3 along the top, 2 on the bottom. So next up, you can see I did my shoe cabinet on the left here. The bottom half of this unit is going to be shelves for shoes, and the top half is going to be drawers. And then what I'm working on the floor there is my closet. And so the design of this, I actually had been going back and forth a little bit on. So what I'm putting together here ended up being a little bit wrong. And that's just because I initially designed it to be kind of a weird shape, and then I thought I was going to want to put drawers in it, and in order to do drawers, you need to have the frame be square. But then I ended up going back to the weird shape and just doing shelves in the end. That's because, as you can see here, the weird shape works a lot better for the nose of the trailer and leaving space for my shower. Oh, and a quick tip for working with 80/20. If you've got vertical beams and you want a nut to stay in a specific spot on that beam, just ball up a little piece of masking tape and shove it in the slot underneath the nut. Now, if you've never worked with 80/20 before, I do want to warn you that it can be pretty frustrating. If you're doing a build like this and you're considering doing either wood cabinets or 80/20, if you know woodworking really well, then that might be a better option. There's pros and cons to both, and I would honestly recommend whichever one you're more comfortable with. For me personally, I'm not an experienced woodworker, and I have experience with 80/20, so that's why I chose 80/20. And that's a wrap for this video. If you want to see how the rest of this build comes out, smash that like and subscribe button, and thank you for watching.